It all began as an ordinary day when I woke up on the beach with a dream of conquering new challenges. Knowing I needed resources to reach my goal, I immediately set to work, gathering wood and stone to craft tools. Luckily, the area was rich in resources. I also collected enough cloth and crafted a bow. As dusk approached, I hunted stags and got food, cloth for clothing, and animal fat for the furnace. Aware of the dangers at night, I built a campfire to cook some meat, after which I sought refuge in a safe zone near the beach, where distant gunshot confirmed that nights are in fact dangerous. So I waited until morning to venture out to explore the surrounding areas. Instead of taking the main exit, I decided to swim to shore to avoid the gun-related areas from last night. With the resources I gathered, I decided it was time to find a suitable location to build a base. To avoid danger, I chose the nearest monument, which was Lab 1A, because it wasn't too far from my current location. I started constructing my base, but I heard gunfights in the distance, so I hurried. After a AC build, I realized I was low on resources and had to spend the night in my unfinished base sorting through and depositing loot. At daybreak, I ventured out to farm as much as I could, but my tools broke. Fortunately, I had enough materials to secure my base. Lab A1 was just over the hill, so I decided to take a look. Luckily, there was a lot of loot, but no one to be found. While looting, I found my first gun, a salvage P250. With my new gun in hand, I headed back to my base. Knowing one's surrounding is key, so I decided to take a look around. I discovered nearby bases but encountered no immediate threats. Upon returning to my base, I decided to revisit the lab for more loot. However, this time I wasn't alone. I heard footsteps coming towards me, and then I saw two players armed with spears. They attacked me. It was my first PvP encounter, and unfortunately I lost. After spawning in my base, I grabbed my salvage P250 with the little ammo that I had and a crossbow, and I went back to the lab. Sadly, the lab was filled with radiation, so I had to make a haste back to my base to get some clothing. But as luck would have it, when I came back, I saw them running over the hill with my loot, and I wasn't going to let them get away that easily. I was determined to get my stuff back, so I pursued them, hoping I would be able to catch up to them. Luckily, my prayers came through, they stopped and they were looting. With my crossbow in hand, I ran up. I had the advantage of surprise. I had to use it effectively. My first shot would be the deciding factor for this fight, and I had to hit it. So I ran up with my crossbow drawn and set the arrow loose. It hit the target and they freaked out. The idea was to take out one with the crossbow and surprise the other with the gun. It was a quick fight and I got my loot back and I returned to my base. Inspired by this encounter, I sought more action. which didn't go as planned, resulting in multiple deaths. I realized I needed far better equipment, so I decided to focus on obtaining guns. However, while in my base, I realized that I needed some space, so I decided to put a brake on the guns and upgrade my base. But for that, I needed some resources. Because the area was so active, I thought that going out at night would be the safest to farm. I was wrong. My farming was cut short when I was attacked by a random with a P250. But because of my quick thinking and my accurate bow shots, I was able to win the fight. I waited until morning to go and upgrade my base. Because of the fighting with the P250, it would definitely attract the wrong attention. As I was out upgrading my base, I was killed. So I was upset. I went in, crafted a nail gun and went out. Unfortunately, I was killed again. But it was settled I needed guns, good guns to win fights, so I began. I started by upgrading the anvil so I could craft guns. I also crafted a ammo station for my ammo. After a short while, I was ready. I kitted up and I went out to roam. While checking out a base, I heard gunshots by my base, so I went to take a look. And I saw it. Because my base wasn't fully built, it attracted unwanted attention. And so it began. After taking out the intruder, the gunshot brought more trouble. Two raiders came and saw my vulnerable base and decided to raid. I was outmatched, outnumbered, and so I lost. I lost it all. And that's it, guys. That's my first experience on Fallen Survivor.